Good day to each and everyone. My name is Nico N. Bermilio, BS Ed 1 major in Filipino. So today, let's talk about Lawrence Kohlberg Cognitive Theory of Moral Development. Kohlberg's theory proposes that there are three levels of moral development, with each level splits into two stages. Kohlberg suggested that people move through these stages in a fixed order, and that moral understanding is linked to cognitive development. The three levels of moral reasoning include pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. Lawrence Kohlberg agreed with Piaget's theory of moral development in principle but wanted to develop his ideas further. He used Piaget's storytelling technique to tell people stories involving moral dilemmas. In each case, he presented a choice to be considered, for example, between the rights of some authority and the needs of some deserving individual who is being unfairly treated. One of the best known of Kohlberg's stories concerns a man called Heinz who lived somewhere in Europe. Heinz's wife was dying from a particular type of cancer. Doctors said a new drug might save her. The drug had been discovered by a local chemist, and the Heinz tried desperately to buy some. But the chemist was charging 10 times the money it cost to make the drug, and this was much more than the Heinz could afford. Heinz could only raise half the money even after help from family and friends. He explains to the chemist that his wife was dying and asked if he could have the drug cheaper or pay the rest of the money later. The chemist refused, saying that he had discovered the drug and was going to make money from it. The husband was desperate to save his wife, so later that night, he broke into the chemist and stole the drug. Kohlberg asked a series of questions such as: Number 1. Should Heinz have stolen the drug? Number 2. Would it change anything if Heinz didn't love his wife? Number 3. What if the person dying was a stranger? Would it make any difference? And last, number 4. Should the police arrest the chemist for murder if the woman died? By studying the answers from children of different ages to these questions, Kohlberg hoped to discover how moral reasoning changes as people grow older. The sample comprised 72 Chicago boys and aged to 16 years, 58 of whom were followed up at 3 yearly intervals for 20 years. Each boy was given a 2-hour interview based on the 10 dilemmas. What Kohlberg was mainly interested in was not whether the boys judged the action right or wrong, but the reasons given for the decision. He found that these reasons tended to change as the children got older. Kohlberg identified 3 distinct levels of moral reasoning: the pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. Each level has 2 sub-stages. People can only pass through these levels in the order listed. Each new stage replaces the reasoning typical of the earlier stage. Not everyone achieves all these stages. Kohlberg's stages of moral development. Level 1. The pre-conventional morality. Pre-conventional morality is the first stage of moral development and lasts until approximately age of 9. At the pre-conventional level, children don't have a personal code of morality. and instead, moral decisions are shaped by the standards of adults and the consequences of following or breaking the rules. For example, if an action leads to punishment, it must be bad, and if it leads to a reward, it must be good. Authority is outside the individual, and children often make moral decisions based on the physical consequences of actions. So, ito daw pong pre-conventional morality is, ito po yung age 9 pababa. And then, sinasabi po rito na wala pa pong kakayahan na magdesisyong mag-isa yung isang bata. And then, sinasabi po na nakadepende po siya sa kanya pong mga nakakatanda or sa kanyang mga magulang. At meron pong consequences if mayroon po siyang nalabag na utos or rules. So, yan po yung pre-conventional morality. So, under pre-conventional morality, we have two stages. Number 1 stage is the obedience and punishment orientation. The child or individual is good in order to avoid being punished. If a person is punished, they must have done wrong. So, example, stealing is bad because the law says so. You will get in trouble if you steal. So, ito pong obedience and punishment orientation, ito po yung isang bata or isang individual na nagiging mabuti siyang tao sapagkat or upang maiwasan niya yung punishment. Kunwari, yung isang bata, susunod siya sa kanyang magulang, sa pinag-utos ng magulang kasi takot siyang mapalo. And then sabi naman dito, if a person is punished, they must have done wrong. So, kapag yung isang bata o isang tao ay naparusahan or napalo, meron siyang bagay na nagawa na mali. So, yan po yung stage 1. And then next is stage 2, individualism in exchange. At this stage, children recognize that there is not just one right view that is handed down by the authorities. Different individuals have different viewpoints. Example, stealing is okay if it allows you to get what you want. So, dito naman po sa stage 2 is sinasabi na hindi lahat ng individuals ay iisa ang punto. Sinasabi dito na mayroon tayong different viewpoints. At gagaya nga ng example natin, stealing is okay if it allows you to get what you want. Meron yung tao na meron yung pagkakataon na may gagawin ka, pwede siyang tama at pwede rin naman siyang mali. So, yun po yung stage 2. The next is level 2, conventional morality. Conventional morality is the second stage of moral development and is characterized by an acceptance of social rules concerning right and wrong. At the conventional level, most adolescents and adults, we begin to internalize the moral standards of valued adult role models. Authority is internalized but not questioned. And reasoning is based on the norms of the group to which the person belongs. A social system that stresses the responsibilities of relationships as well as social order is seen as desirable and must, therefore, influence our view of what is right and wrong. So, ito naman pong level 2 conventional morality is ito po yung ina-accept na po natin yung mga social rules. And then, involved po dito yung mga most adolescents and adults. Next po is stage 3, the good interpersonal relationships. The child or individual is good in order to be seen as being a good person by others. Therefore, answers relate to the approval of others. Example, stealing is a bad idea because if people find out, they will think you're untrustworthy or a criminal. So, ang linaw-linaw naman po ng example natin na sinasabi daw po dito na yung good interpersonal relationship is ito po yung nakabase sa mga tao, kung ano po yung nakikita nila sa'yo. Kung mabuti ka pong tao is magiging isa kang huwaran or mapagkakatiwalaan ka nila. And then kung masama naman po, kagaya nga po ng example natin na kapag nalaman nila ito is iisipin nila na hindi ka katiwatiwalang tao or isa kang kriminal. At ang masaklap pa po dito is kukutsain ka po nila at madadamay din po yung relatives mo. So, yun po, yung stage 3. And next is stage 4. Maintaining the social order. The child or individual becomes aware of the wider rules of society. So, judgments concern obeying the rules in order to uphold the law and avoid guilt. Example, stealing is bad because if everyone were allowed to steal, no one's property would be safe. There will be no social order. So, ito naman po is kailangan natin i-maintain yung social order. Kagaya nga ng sinasabi sa example, if lahat ng tao is pwedeng gumawa ng masama, so para saan pa para saan pa yung batas na pinatupad para hindi natin sundin. So, dapat maging aware tayo nang sa ganon is hindi tayo maging guilty kung meron man tayong nagawang masama. So, yun lamang po. And then, ipagpapatuloy po ito ni Mr. Vincent A. Villacorta. Sisimulan niya po sa level 3. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig.